Hello, hello, you beautiful, lovely beings. Welcome back to Muse, a podcast where we talk about all things creativity, personal growth, self expression, and how they kind of intermingle, overlap, and the way that we can integrate that more into our lives as creative beings. My name's Damaris. I'm your host, artist, creative, multi-passionate, multifaceted, whatever you want to call it. And we're here with another episode. Another week has gone by, and I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be recording again. This is another Just Me episode. I hope for those of you that listened, you enjoyed last week's episode with my beautiful friend, Mohammed. That was so fun. It was really cool to have somebody else on the podcast and to just chat, hang out, and record it. And I think we definitely want to make it into a series. It might be like a once a month thing, which is super cool. We're gonna meet, I think, soon to kind of hash out all the details. And I'm excited to have that be its own thing. It'll be the series of Moody Mondays with Mohammed on Muse, which is so fun and so cool. And yeah, he's such a good time. But today we are chatting about something a little bit different, still within creativity, obviously, but I'm definitely, to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I'm feeling good, but just overwhelmed at this kind of new stage I'm in. It's really hard to explain because I don't fully understand it myself. But essentially, I haven't had to. I do it to myself. Duh. I was in the middle of editing a YouTube video and now have basically pivoted to starting over almost my whole concept of what I want to but what I want to share on YouTube, and aligning that with my pillars and kind of creating a mission for myself as to the type of content, the type of things that I want to be sharing. And of course, just like anything else, things continually evolve and grow and blossom at all different times and paces. So Muse in itself has been evolving. I've been evolving with continually posting these episodes. And obviously everything else that I create and everything else I'm putting out does the same thing. It's continually evolving, and literally from watching one video this morning and it shifting my perspective on the way that I'm going about thinking about videos and content that I want to put out, just kind of solidified and clarified how I want to be doing it, which is super cool, but also very overwhelming in the scheme of now I have to reorganize myself and like shift things around, and sometimes that really becomes overwhelming for me because there's just so many pieces that have shifted and I'm having to kind of put them into place. And I've realized as I've gotten older that sometimes it's difficult for me to figure out what is priority, because to me all of them are priority. And breaking down bigger projects or themes of things into smaller bits tangible ways for me to achieve my bigger projects, it sometimes becomes overwhelming. So I'm pretty much rambling at this point. I want to kind of get into what I'm talking about a little bit more in depth, and kind of what you're going to notice maybe in the things that I'm going to be talking about on Muse, and where you can actually see me evolve on my YouTube channel, which you'll be able to actually physically see the way that I come across and the things that I'm working on that don't have to do with the podcast, because I'm constantly working on other things. That's just who I am. I have the book club, I have Substack, I have YouTube, it's just really never ending. So I've spoken about my pillars before, and I think I shared at that time how that kind of solidified the content that I want to be creating. And this morning when I watched that other video, it was a guy named Mark Waters. I would highly recommend to watch that YouTube video. It was really cool if you're into content creating and like figuring out your niche and things like that. It was a really good, like, short and sweet video. As I was watching that video, what I realized was that my pillars are already a way that I have lived by all my life. That the things that drive me to create, to put work out there in the way that I do it specifically, the pillars that I came up with and the reasons behind the pillars are very much aligned. I just never really looked at it in that way so clearly as to how I can intentionally divvy that up into every component of the content that I'm creating. And YouTube definitely has been on the back burner. So that's kind of why maybe this impacted me more, because I've been meaning to really get back into creating YouTube videos and just doing video content alongside these podcast episodes. Anyways, in that video, he talks about finding a mission. And I realized that my pillars are basically my mission, and how I go about using that mission is creating the content and the things that I talk about all the time. So that was really cool that video really sparked this thought. And now I've essentially created a whole YouTube arc that I'm going to be putting together, which is amazing. I'm so excited for that. And I love having a plan about what I want to do and why I want to do it, and how it aligns truly and authentically with who I am and the things that are meaningful to me. So stay tuned for that. But having clarity doesn't always bring a sense of calm. To me, sometimes what it causes, or what it brings, is like an amplification of urgency. Because now that I've shifted everything, it's like, okay, well, when am I going to post it? Now I want to have a video schedule, and I have a podcast schedule, and I have to have the content done by this time in order to be able to post it, and blah, 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 all these things that come with putting work out there. And that's not even including like my Bratty Book Club stuff and other, TikTok or Instagram posts and stories, and oh my gosh. So I think this is where it becomes difficult for me in finding a rhythm and a system that truly works and aligns with the way that I work and function, because what I do find, and I have been finding in the last few weeks, is that because my system and my rhythm isn't locked in, then I tend to procrastinate doing the work. I just don't feel that urgency. And then I leave it for last minute, and then I'm rushing, and then I'm stressed, and then I change my whole plan, because of course that's such a Damaris thing to do, and create this beautiful whole new plan, but now I have to do everything last minute. Yay. So I mean, it's not bumming me out. I'm not feeling so bogged down about it. I'm still very much in good spirits and just want to do things in a very sustainable way. So I just wanted to make this episode super quick, and just also acknowledging that you might be in a similar situation. You might also be procrastinating at some of the things that you want to do. You're not alone. This is very much a thing that happens. And I think instead of putting shame, putting doubt, putting blame on anything, anyone, or myself, I'm choosing to let things be messy. I think the most important thing for me is feeling aligned in what I'm doing. The timing can always pivot. I'm the one that's putting these time constraints. So I think I need to be a little bit more relaxed about that, because that's something that I'm very much get really caught up in, is time frame of when I say I'm going to post something. So if that's something that you struggle with, and it's your own schedule, your own thing that you're putting on yourself, it's okay. It's okay to let things be what they are. That time is just time. We still have time. We're the only ones causing this pressure, and it's also not a healthy, good way to live, feeling that pressure all the time, like we're falling behind, like we're stuck, or just completely overwhelmed and now can't move forward. I think the whole point of this episode for me was to be able to talk about it, to face it, not judge myself for it, and not feel judged for the things that I'm maybe trying to juggle and it's not going exactly the way that I want. But I think doing it anyways and starting over is okay. And it's sometimes necessary for things to feel even more aligned and for there to be even more clarity in the direction that you're going in your life and in your creative work. Because ultimately, I think that that's what we're here to do, is to create these beautiful things that are going to impact our lives and hopefully others' lives as well. I want to leave you with this reminder to let things be where they're at, that it's okay. You can always keep going and you can always come back to it. I want to thank you for tuning in, for listening, and sticking around through all my journeys of this podcast, of my personal growth, really, that you're getting to live through these episodes, where I'm at in my headspace, where I'm at creatively, where I'm at, even when I talk to other people. It's really cool to have this even as a reflection for myself of where I was at in the moment that I recorded these episodes. It's really nice to think of this as a way that documenting my life, where I'm at through this whole journey, which is really it's really fascinating that we can even do that and that I'm actually sharing that publicly. But even if I wasn't, I think being able to have it and listen back and just be like, wow, I've grown a lot through this process. So I can cut myself some slack. I can be okay with not doing things or not feeling like things are as smooth as I want them, or I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. That's cool. Like, I think after I record this, I'm going to go for a walk so that I can, get rid of some of that overwhelm energy and then come back to do some other work. So I hope that this encourages you and you feel seen and heard and that you're not alone, because you're not, and that we can take the next steps to hopefully get into and back to our work and to have a beautiful rest of the week, day, etc. Thanks again. We will see you next week. Keep creating. Bye.